Welcome back, note takers. As you can tell, Noah and I are in the studio together, recording in person.
For the first
can
time.
touch him, push him. Yeah, for the first time ever. And guess what? I got my sexy red shirt on because we're out here in Miami. And we are indeed looking for hoochie daddies, but we're here to record a podcast. We're here to get you the tea. And of course, we're going to make this episode Miami themed.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about all things reality TV in the city of Miami. Shows that were based around Miami, shows that were filmed in Miami, shows that had Miami as a pitch, spin-offs about Miami, because there are a lot of failed spin-offs about Miami. Dance Moms looking at you. Bring It, Step It Up looking at you. As iconic as Tracy was. But, I don't know, Miami's such a fun city, such a culture. Yeah. This is your first time here, but how are you liking it so far?
I love it here so far. I mean, I've been here less than 24 hours, but I love it so far. I'm having a good time.
And we've run anyone out, and you need to silence your phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do want to start, how important do you think the city backdrop is to a show? Because we see all these Real Housewives franchises based around a show. And we see a bunch of other shows that do it. Even Zeus Network is getting to their regional bag with Baddies West, Baddies South, and now Baddies East.
Yeah, I think it varies from show to show, but definitely for a lot of the shows we're going to talk about today, I think because they are so heavily reliant upon Miami culture, upon, kind of the scene here, the fashion, the architecture, the decor, I think it's very important. I think it kind of sets the mood and it sets the vibe for what the viewers can kind of expect and gives them an idea of what, because, with Real Housewives, it's kind of like, I think, most people, they don't watch every single city. Yeah. But I think by each city, they can kind of get an idea of whether or not they want to try it. They're like, okay, is Potomac my vibe, or is Beverly Hills my vibe, or am I more a New York person?
Yeah, and I feel like the one that's maybe closest to you or represents the city you're from, if you are, you kind of drawn to it. Even though I felt the opposite about New York in a way, because all those white women living in the Upper East Side, one little neighborhood. I think I've said this on the podcast before, but it was more like the Real Housewives of the Upper East Side, not New York City. Well, I think the reboot is doing a little better about representation and representing the whole city, but New York is such a tough to kind of capture in one group of women. So I understand why they went for that. Also, from a marketing and promotion standpoint, I feel like, Upper East Side, probably not as marketable as New York City. Same thing with Potomac, because they couldn't use DC again, so they just went with Potomac. Yeah. But I feel like still to this day, people don't know where or what Potomac is.
Right, yeah, for sure. No, people are just, everybody I've talked to on the show is like, where's Potomac? What's Potomac? But it's still an iconic show, isn't it?
Yeah. And now people know about it. They put the Potomac on the map, even though the river, was there forever.
Yeah. I love it. So, as far as shows today, there's so many places where we could start with this.
I know. I
guess we could maybe start with maybe some of the earlier shows we remember seeing, because I feel like the first Miami show I personally remember watching might have been the Kardashian spinoffs. Yeah. Because I remember I was into the Kardashians at the time. And I remember there was first Kourtney and Khloe Take Miami, where they went to go open up the Dash boutique there. And then there was Kim and Kourtney Take Miami later, which I think they were they were having issues with the Dash boutique.
Shocker.
Yeah. So, I don't know, those shows were pretty fun. It was kind of very much, you got to see a little bit of the entrepreneur side of things with them kind of getting into how they start up their business, how they get things ready. But you also got to see a lot of partying, a lot of fun. You got to see antics. I know on Khloe and Kourtney Take Miami, there was Kourtney's baby daddy drama, because that's when she found out she was pregnant.
I know, what a throwback.
Was Scott's baby, the first one. And then Khloe was, in a studio like us, but she was taking drugs in the studio.
Oh, Lord. And Michael Yo was not pleased with her.
She was not.
Also, the amount of random celebrity cameos are quasi. I guess some of those people became more famous afterwards. Michael Yo has always been an entertainment reporter, but we see that Erica Mena, who's famous for, Love and Hip Hop, all these other shows, or basketball. She's one of the two. Yeah. But she was a Dash doll. I did not realize that until rewatching this again. I'm like, that's Erica Mena. And also, Flocka from Orange is the New Black famously had her lesbian relationship with Kourtney on this show. So it's interesting how you can get your start in the entertainment industry by fumbling around with the Kardashians on their reality show.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I think celebrity culture is a big part of Miami.
Do you really?
I think that the thing.
I mean, I feel like less so than I'm biased as a New Yorker, but I feel like it's New York and LA. I
Well,
guess Miami isn't.
But what I heard though was
range.
a lot of celebrities do have homes here,
Yeah,
and they
that's
kind of
true.
like to vacation here, like to come here, like if they're not doing international, you know.
Yeah.
They like to come here. There's a lot of I know, like I think Madonna has a house here.
Yeah.
I'm sure like Beyonce probably has a house here.
Yeah, don't they have like no property? There's something here with taxes, either no property or no income. That's like very favorable.
That's thing.
You know how DeSantis and friends get down,
right? That's thing. Yeah, there's definitely. I definitely think if you're ultra wealthy like these celebrities are, I think this is a nice place to be. And then I also think there's like a mixture of like, you know, you can be like out wherever, but I think there's also like more private, secluded areas here.
You can be chilling on Star Island, being all reclusive. Yeah, I think there's definitely a culture of like a lot of wealth here, especially right on the beach. It's very fun. It's very lively. Yeah. Even on our Uber drive over to the studio, we saw 3-4 strip clubs.
Yeah, and we looked at the reviews, and most of them were not good.
Yeah, except what they call Bronxy. Bronxy's an icon.
Shout out to Bronxy. You had a great review on.
Bronxy.
Google reviews?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember which club, but Bronxy, you are well known and renowned.
I think. Our favorite Miami stripper.
But I feel like Miami's interesting because you don't have as much of a concentration of the entertainment industry as you have in New York and LA. So you maybe have less people who want to
get a bag like us.
Get a bag like us. Or like, you know, do extreme shit on reality TV because it's like it's not as concentrated here, but I feel like there's still, I don't know. I think it's very hard to define Miami as like a singular thing.
Well, because it's so multifaceted.
Yeah.
And it's so rich with so many different cultures, and there's so many different like socioeconomic. There's a lot of wealth, but there's also like poverty. There's also like, you know, there's just like a lot going on.
Exactly, and I feel like there's so many different like immigrant groups that like kind of one holds into their own kind of immigrant beliefs, but also kind of like, I don't know. I think I can't think of like a Miami attitude other than like aesthetic.
Yeah.
Versus like New York and LA, I think there's like significant personality types.
Oh yeah, no. That's...
Like, I can meet somebody from New York and like their vibe, understand them, even if they're like, you know, white, Puerto Rican, something like that. But I don't know if that exists here. I don't live here, but it seems more divisive.
I haven't noticed anything yet.
Yeah. I guess we gotta get on the ground. Maybe we gotta talk to the locals, see what they think.
Nothing. Yeah, do some on the street interviews.
But I don't think that Miami is as failed of a reality show locale as people think. Like, I don't know. I've seen some stuff on like Twitter and Reddit that like Miami shows don't work. As you know, Real Housewives of Miami famously got canceled and then rebooted through Peacock. But it had relatively low but it had relatively low ratings, I think. And like some other shows, like I have a whole list of shows here. Should we just get into it?
Yeah, let's just talk about these shows.
Yeah, we don't. Some of them you may have heard of, some of them you may not have heard of. But doing my research for Miami, I realized there are a lot of shows. Some I've heard of but never really watched. Some I haven't. But these are very specific shows. Some centered around Miami. Some just happen to be in Miami. So we're going to start with the ones I put under the failed category. So maybe they did have more than one season, so they weren't all necessarily one-season wonders, but they didn't really have great ratings, didn't really make a buzz. We're starting with the WAGs, Miami. Are you familiar with the WAGs franchise?
I am not.
Well, WAG stands for Wives and Girlfriends. That is a commonly used acronym for people in the sports and entertainment world, just referring to all, you know, the groups of girlfriends and wives that, you know, show up at the games and gossip. Yeah. So that was the point of the show. I didn't watch it too heavily. I saw a few episodes. I actually watched the other one, WAGs LA, because Kelly, who's a former WWE wrestler, goes by Barbie Blank. She was on that show because she was married to an NHL player. They are now divorced.
Oh, okay.
But I know it was a gag. I watched it for her, but it was just kind of boring. And then when I watched an interview of her, mostly talking about her wrestling career, but she did spill some tea that like made me understand. But apparently the E producer straight up told her like, "This is not Housewives. We don't dive deep into your life like that. Like we don't. It's not that intense."
Okay.
So I think that's why the E shows always feel so like
light.
Yeah, light and lifestyle-y because they're not trying to ruin your life.
Well, yeah, no, they definitely seem to take a greater interest in protecting their participants' reputation.
Exactly, which is why the shows are probably more boring, but you probably can recover from it better and have a better experience.
I mean, yeah, if it's boring and it fails and whatever, it's not a detriment to your career necessarily.
But next up, okay, I don't know how I feel about putting this one under failure because I actually did watch one of the seasons. It was decently interesting, but I think relative to the other shows in the franchise, Love and Hip Hop Miami wasn't the best one. But I think they had a good cast, like Amarla Negra, you had Prince, Bobby was Bobby. But then you had Trina, the Queen of Miami was there. So like, I think just having Trina, the baddest bitch, in there alone, kind of maybe I should have put it under failure. Maybe I could put it in the middle tier, but I don't know. Love and Hip Hop Miami, I think because it came at the end of the franchise, it wasn't too strong. But I think they had really good casting and characters.
Yeah, well, Because that one got canceled, right?
Yeah.
And didn't they move some of the girls somewhere else?
I think so.
No,
Or they do like, I'm pretty sure they're in their like teen mom OG bag now. They just have everyone either like living in a house or just like in one city. You know, Love and Hip Hop's in their alumni area.
Well, is Miami, because was that the one that had Bucky on it?
I think she was on Atlanta and Miami.
Oh, she was on both.
Yeah, I think she was on both. I think so they moved her around. Yeah.
Wherever
Bucky,
she's needed.
now known as Shay Johnson on her reality TV career, but we know her as Bucky.
Well, I think, yeah, she'll always be Bucky to us. We love her. Even
I forgot she was on that one.
I think even when Ion was coming for her, she's Bucky.
Even when she almost pushed you off a balcony?
Yeah. And she can do it
like
again.
Like you were crazy. Oh, Lord. Please not that.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the Love and Hip Hop franchise, I will be the first to admit I'm not like super versed in it. I haven't seen every episode. I've kind of seen like bits and pieces here and there. But Trina, I love Trina. Of course. So I've watched a lot of like the Trina best moments compilations and stuff like that. I remember that one.
I mean, you quoted Love and Hip Hop to me this morning in the Airbnb because I came out into the living room. He wants to say, "Oh, hey, maid."
There you go.
I was wearing a t-shirt.
Your little maid outfit you like to wear.
I quoted Mimi back. I'm wearing a t-shirt because I was. But y'all see what I deal with.
Oh, come on. But I like. There's that. I think it's on Love and Hip Hop Miami. That fight with Trina and the other girl. I know that girl. They get her wig off and they put her in the pool.
Oh my Lord! I just thought there's like some one big backyard bash, and that's where the TikTok sound comes from. You ain't gonna call me no bitch.
Oh, I think that's what I'm talking about. Yes, because the thing is like what was this girl's name? Because Trina was like,
we don't need to know.
Well, because the thing is, this girl was mad at other people first, and Trina came in to try to like calm her down, and this girl like was calling Trina a bitch and stuff, and that's when it got lit.
you don't disrespect Trina.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But I mean that's because I love her.
Right. Moving on to failed shows, we have Siesta Key, which was on MTV. Now, if you're not familiar, I am a big MTV Challenge fan, so my TV stayed on MTV at some point. So they were trying to use a challenge advertisement, the challenge fan base to integrate Siesta Key, but it was pretty much just like the hills, but in like this random Florida community. It wasn't explicitly Miami, but it was close enough. I'm bundling it here, but it was just, boring white kids. But I will say that there was like, every season I would see a trailer, and this one like, I don't know her. Maybe it's Kelsey. I vaguely know their names, but that girl was always getting hit. Like every season, this one girl was getting her ass beat. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, if you watch Siesta Key, please let me know. Like, why was this one girl getting her ass beat every time?
So mad. I
like literally like one. I'm pretty sure the whole thing the first season was like she had like a black eye. Like it was as bad as like Heather Gates on Salt Lake City's, and she was just like that girl punched me, and she took off her sunglasses all dramatically. I think the girl who hit her was named Juliet, maybe, but like. She was just like, Julia hit me. Exactly. Like that level of dramatics, y'all. And
I mean, I love that they were making it a focal point in every season's trailer. It's like a running gag. Like,
at this point, they were just like, you want to get hit again for this season? She was just like, can I get a bonus?
I'm giving Gail Weathers and Scream.
Would you take a $5,000 bonus on a reality show to get hit?
I would negotiate where they're hitting, but...
That's true. And who's hitting? Because I'm not letting the muscly steroid bro hit me. Let the twink throw a punch. Let the twink throw a punch at me.
That's but I would consider it for $5,000.
Okay.
I got to pay my bills.
The next failed show, which I feel like this was a whole era of tattoo shows, we have Miami Ink.
Oh, yes. And
did you watch this?
No. Oh. I did not. But I know, was it this one or the other one where that guy was like, why are you 25 but you look 45 or something?
I know what you're talking about. What? It might have been. And there were two guys in the background who were cracking up. They had to turn away from the camera.
Her face was like, what?
It could have been. I'm not sure, but...
But Miami Ink, well, I know, because LA Ink, that one involves Kat Von D, right?
I think so.
Yeah. You know what? Now the moment I'm talking about, it's different because it's from it's a tattooing competition show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this just probably
because I know
explores.
One thing I know.
Why didn't we passed a tattoo company called Miami Ink when we were on South Beach last night? But I don't know if it was this Miami Ink. Yeah. I remember I saw it. I was like, oh, we're talking about that.
Well, that thing, because I know these shows like Miami Ink, like whatever, all these shows. It's more so just like kind of like Jerseylicious, where they're kind of following these girls that work in a beauty store. This one is, these ones are following the lives of these people that are tattoo artists working all in a shop together.
Makes sense. So another one of the day in the life shows that kind of failed in Miami.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I feel like none of those day in the life shows do well.
That's
in
true.
General. I mean, I guess some of them do, but most
even
of
if
them
it's like following a family, you could be the most entertaining person. Like, you could be Nene Leakes, but I still need to see you in an ensemble. I still need to see some chaos.
I need to see you interact with people.
Yeah, unless you're like a straight up like spiraling, then I don't think a day in a life show that I just entertaining. The only one I liked was Candidly Nicole Richie show.
Oh yeah,
I actually liked that one for a day in a life show. At least the first season. No, I loved her. I was almost like a Nicole Richie stan in that era.
You were having your Nicole Richie moment.
I was. But we have $1 Million Listing Miami. That's Bravo, right? $1 Million Listing franchise?
Yes, yeah, the $1 Million Listing.
But I guess the Miami one, from what I looked up, had low ratings and nobody really cared about it.
Yeah.
But that's surprising because there's good real estate here. I feel like the houses and stuff are gorgeous.
Yeah, but maybe it was just a casting thing, though, because I feel like with a show about real estate, it's only interesting for so long. Like, you need to have cast dynamics.
Yeah, I believe it. Probably was casting. Then we're getting into spinoffs. These were Lifetime spinoffs of 2 dance shows, which is Dance Moms, which we all famously know, Abby Lee. But then they tried Dance Moms Miami, and then Bring It, which was the Majorette show, affectionately referred to as the Black Dance Moms. But I loved Bring It, big Bring It fan, love you, Coach D. And they tried it. Their rival team was this Miami team, YCDT Superstars. So they decided to follow that team in Miami as well. So we kind of had 2 Lifetime Miami dance spinoffs that only lasted a season. Okay. Or maybe 2 for Dance Moms Miami, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at least with speaking into Dance Moms, I feel like with Dance Moms, every time they try to do anything to tweak it, it doesn't go well.
Exactly.
Like Dance Moms Miami didn't go well. For a while, when they had somebody else come in to replace Abby Lee Miller, it didn't go well. Yeah. I think so. I feel like anytime you kind of tweak the Dance Moms formula, which really is just broken down to Abby Lee Miller screaming at these grown women and their daughters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really just kind of what works, and you can't really mess with it.
Yeah, and also, like, the casting, too. Like, the moms were a big part of it. People got very used to them.
Yeah.
They would try to replace different moms. At one point, the moms had went on strike and were like, we're not filming till you run us our bag. And they tried to bring in these other moms, but it just didn't work. Like, you needed Kelly, Christy, Jill, my Queen Holly. What's the other one? You don't know. Melissa. Like, you needed them. You needed their dynamic. You needed their shift. You needed their kids, because these are the ones you were accustomed to.
Well, a lot of times, I mean, the kids, they were great at dancing and everything, but the moms were like the stars. They were the entertaining ones, bringing the drama, bringing the jokes, bringing the moments.
I don't know, after a while with a show, you probably have people who are trying too hard. Especially when it's a show where it's like you kind of struck fire in that first season authentically and organically, like Dance Moms was. Maybe they were trying too hard in Dance Moms Miami. Yeah. I didn't watch it too much, but I just remember that there was like one little younger boy who was really good, and they were all just like obsessed with him or like talking about him, or Brody maybe. I don't know, some twink name. But
part of that is too like before when with Dance Moms original cast, these are like women who are like actual Dance Moms. Like these women, this is like their lives. They like have their kids in this. Their daughters are dedicated to this. They've been doing this for years and everything. Versus as the show goes on and becomes more popular and has spin-offs and you're casting, you might just get moms who like their kid might not even be a fucking dancer.
Yeah. I know, that'd be crazy.
That thing, and they just want to get their kid on TV. And they want to be on TV.
Yeah, or you have like some parents who didn't care, but their kids were really into it and really good, and they're like, so you kind of had the mix of all of that. But I think kids in general on reality shows are a recipe for disaster. Now, Step It Up, I watched and tried. It was just boring. If you watch Bring It, then they had like a very specific formula. It'd be like, this is the meet this week. This is who we're facing. We're going to train for the routine. There's probably drama about who's going to make cuts. If it was season 1 and season 2, it's probably Soonjai struggling to make the stand battle. And then they'll face the team. You have the competition. It was very formulaic. Every episode you had this, you had drama, you had the competition, you had results. Step It Up, they didn't really have competition. So it was kind of like, we're going to go do this audition, or we're just going to have drama over making it this week. So it wasn't really as formulaic. I don't think the personalities were as strong. They also didn't have moms, really. Because Bring It kind of mimicked Dance Moms, where they had the moms be very integral parts. Yeah. It was so funny. They didn't even have a room at first. So the first couple of seasons, they would be on the sidewalk outside the studio, like looking through the window, trying to talk shit. And then when Miss D would see them, she would walk out there with her clipboard like,
what are you doing?
What y'all doing? But then they eventually got a room by like season 3, but I thought it was so funny. But Step It Up did not have that dynamic. So
I love watching the mom room on Dance Moms, where those ladies are just sitting there watching rehearsals or whatever, and then like they're like shading each other and talking shit.
I know. Melissa's usually lying about something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it on what I considered failed. But now there's a bunch I've never even heard of before.
Okay.
I don't know if these are going to gag you or not.
Shoot them off.
We have Tough Love Miami, which I think is just like a dating show. Very generic. Sounds boring.
Okay, yeah.
Eighth and Ocean, which is about models from a certain agency living in Miami. Also seems kind of boring.
Yeah.
Now this one, Airport 24/7 Miami. Aired in 2012 on the Travel Channel.
Okay.
An airport show. I feel like that has potential to be interesting. I don't think it lasted too long. I feel like you probably really can't turn up and lose your TSA clearance.
Right. Yeah, you can't be doing too much in an airport.
You can't be doing too much at the airport. But I thought, I don't know, interesting that the Travel Channel tried reality TV.
Yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued by that.
I wonder I would love to know what year that happened, because I feel like that might have been during the reality TV boom where every network wanted to get in on it.
Yeah, it was 2012, so relatively recent, but
okay.
And then,
it checks out.
Yeah. Miami Animal Police. There were 2 Miami Animal shows about, like, I don't know what's going on here, if it's real Joe Exotic-y in Miami or not, but, like, 2 different shows about, like, Miami Animal Police or, like, Animals of Miami, tracking it down, animal control. These were, like, in 2004, 2005. These were, like, earlier on, but, like, what was going on in Florida that they needed these shows?
I mean... Well, and also, with a lot of these shows, though, especially like these animal shows and like the repo shows and stuff like that, but they're scripted anyway.
That's true. Oh, South Beach Tow, I got that on the list.
Well, okay, so who even knows if these were like real like animal control situations? True. But Miami does have a lot of interesting critters here.
That's true. We too many salamanders and whatnot. Like we don't got this in New York. We got subway rats and that's it. And then they were designing Miami, which was on Netflix last year, kind of like interior design.
Which boring. Boring. To me, but it's boring, but I also think it makes sense for Miami because Miami is so known for its very, like you said earlier, a very specific aesthetic. There's an aesthetic here. Everything is very like kind of just like glammed up and larger than life.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
but I also feel like Netflix is just at this point they are producing reality shows out the ass, trying to see what sticks, and I feel like there's just so much competition. I feel like I open up Netflix, it's a new competition show.
Well, it's kind of
a new person living in a house reality show. There's always something, a new dating show.
Well, it's kind of like a few years ago when they started doing their like original like dramas and stuff like that. They kind of like original dramas and comedies and stuff like that. They just really pumped out a bunch of them after Orange is the New Black. Obviously succeeded. Yeah. They pumped out just a bunch of them over and over again to see like what would work. And
now we just get one season raggedy shows out of Netflix all the time.
And now we get all these reality shows.
Right. But now we're going to get into the successful shows, our seasons of our shows where they did one season in Miami. I think, as we said earlier, we have Kourtney and Khloe take, Kim and Kourtney take, which we'll talk a little bit more about there. We have the Housewives of Miami, which I would say is successful now. If you got brought back, they're going to get 3rd season. I feel like they've picked up their stride again. Yeah. Larsa Pippen's always in the damn news. Yeah. So she's bringing the show some press.
Cradle Robin right now.
And Michael Jordan, he was like, I don't like that shit. We have South Beach Tow, which I loved Bernice on that show. Obviously, that one is very fake, very scripted.
But it's funny.
I would watch it with my cousin sometimes, and it was always a good time. There was one episode where they like hit her off the balcony.
I remember that, yes.
And she came running back up, and I was like, that's how I knew. I'm like, this show is fake, but I don't give a fuck. Bernice was that. Can we interview Bernice? If this somehow gets to you, we would love for you to be a friend of the show.
Come talk to us.
Like, yeah, pull up. Like, we don't usually have the studio set up all the time, but like, we can make it work, Bernice. We want to hear from you.
We would love to get a little update.
And maybe you can tow his car.
We'd love to know how you're feeling after your fall.
Multiple fall. I'm pretty sure. Like, there were several. Like, there was something about water, like a bee. I feel like I have something heard there.
Oh, no, there's always, like, if you look up that show on YouTube, there's, like, some crazy video titles, like, clickbaity, like, Bernice. The thing is, though, on that show, it actually happens, versus on Dance Moms, the clickbait is totally, like, clickbait. It's fake, because it'll be like, Kendall breaks her neck.
Oh, my God.
It'll be like, Kendall snaps her neck during rehearsal.
I mean?
And, like, it's literally, like, Sheila's, like, dancing, and she's like, oh, I sprained my neck, like, or she's like, I pulled a muscle in my neck, but it's like Kendall snaps her neck during rehearsal.
The thing is, Dance Moms doesn't need to do that, because Abby Lee was throwing chairs at kids, like, already. Like,
right, I think on the clip, they were just unnecessary.
Well, I mean, she didn't throw it at her, she threw it near her, but still, you throw it at a chair at a kid, they go, some 7-year-old blonde girl, she go scream and cry.
Yeah. But, yeah, South Beach show. Yeah. That show's funny. That show's just so entertaining.
I know. Maybe we should run a tow company. Maybe that could be our little side hustle.
I think that can be our next scheme.
And then, of course, there's other shows that had little stints in Miami. Jersey Shore season 3 famously took place in Miami. Yeah. Also, these 3 shows filmed at the same time. Jersey Shore season 3, Bad Girls Club season 5, and one of the Kourtney and Khloe takes.
Yeah.
So the city of Miami was over these cameras, over these people, like just showing up at their bars, recording in their spaces, to the point where the Bad Girls Club girls got jumped on the beach.
Yeah.
It's in season 5. It was bad. If you remember, if you're a Bad Girls Club stan, which I am, Noah's less familiar. I'm trying to onboard him because he would love the mess. And like the beach fight was crazy because there's like a crowd around them, 2 girls swinging, someone swung back, and they edited a lot of it out. But to this day, we don't know. Like there's so many theories that like Katia won, the other random girls won. So I don't know what happened here, but yeah, the city of Miami wasn't feeling them.
I love how...
But we also had 2 Bad Girls Club seasons in Miami, season 5, season 11, which I'll share my opinions on later in the episode.
Okay. That. Yeah, no, I mean, I love how... touch back on that, like, because, you know, we're always talking about how, like, Bad Girls Club fans argue over who won the fight. She got 3.5 hits. Oh well, God. She got 3.27 hits.
The hit counter videos on YouTube are crazy.
But I love how there's even an argument about, like, in regards to, like, non-cast members, like, random girl got 3.78 hits.
I think those were always the best fights at Bad Girls Club.
Unnamed woman.
Because we got to see the cast sometimes unite, which was very rare that the whole cast would unite. Kind of like on Murder Manor. You messed with the whole trailer park.
One of us, you messed with the whole trailer park.
So they would say the same thing. Like, you messed with one of Bad Girl, you messed with us all. Like, they'll just jump girls in the club. I mean, but those are always the fun scenes. Like, oh wow, everyone's getting along for once.
I'm saying, jumping this girl has united us.
Although one time on season 4, Amber got fucked up by some girl from Crenshaw. Like, she lost that fight, but you know what? She was swinging, so we're proud of her for that.
She was trying.
And of course, Natalie Nunn was in the back making, commentating, giving her thoughts. You know Natalie Nunn.
The narrator.
Even though the girl lost the fight, you know Natalie was trying to hype her up like she won. She's like, you ripped out her Crenshaw weave. Her Crenshaw weave did not stay in.
Her Crenshaw weave. Why did it gotta specifically be a Crenshaw weave?
Because you know Natalie Nunn. Yeah. Because that's what that girl does. And of course, Real World did a season in Miami. Shout out to Flora. And then Top Chef season 3 was in Miami.
Ooh, okay, Top Chef.
And then upcoming, this was recently announced, but Married to Medicine is doing a Miami season.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Okay, so that's exciting.
We're gonna get the doctor. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of plastic surgeons actually. You know, Lenny Hochstein, he's famously a plastic surgeon here in Miami. I mean, yeah. I feel like that's very, I don't know, probably one of the main industries here, I would feel like. I'm sure they have other kind of doctors. They need it, but I'm excited for that. Those aren't doctors, baby. But I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. Neither of us have watched Married to Medicine, but we've talked so many. We've done it like 5 times. Like we want to watch it. We want to get into it.
Yeah, we want to get into it. It's just so hard. We have because like
there's so many.
Well, because the thing is, we already watch a lot of TV, so we watch the shows we watch.
Yeah.
And on top of it, we're binge watching so many like older seasons of shows for this podcast whenever we're doing prep. So I don't know. I want to watch Married to Medicine.
And then Phaedra's on the new season that's coming out. So I want to watch that.
I want to watch even more. We love Fraud.
Maybe we'll give Married to Medicine Miami a chance. I hope they keep it ethnic. But I hope they mix up because Miami's a very diverse city. Like we have like a Russian, Ukrainian population. You have the Cuban population. You have the other sort of Latino population, the Haitian, Jamaicans. Like
I mean, they have.
And I'm sure there's a doctor from each of those communities that we can find.
That thing is, they have no excuse for it not to be.
Exactly. But we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it. I think Miami also did Real Housewives in Miami. They did a good step in making the show more diverse. Yeah. In their reboot, adding some Haitians. Because when I think of Miami, I automatically think of like Haitian culture. Yeah. So the fact that they had nobody was kind of crazy to me. Now they have 2 cast members.
Well, and it's
Gertie and Kiki.
Well, and I feel
Kiki.
like. Mm-hmm. And I like Gertie just because of the oh hi Green. Yeah, like. And this is kind of, because I mean, the original run was back in the early 2010s. So this is kind of back in the era of Housewives where the cast were very, like, racially segregated. So it's kind of...
Except Kim Zolciak.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is it was so bad at the time that Kim Zolciak being the one white woman on Atlanta was, like, kind of like...
She was Ruby Bridges.
Yeah, that's the, it was like the woke moment.
Literally.
But yeah, because I mean, like, you know, you had most franchises that were pretty much all white women. And if they weren't white, they were usually white passing of some other group. And then you had Atlanta. Yeah, then you had Atlanta, which was just Kim, and then it was all black women. And then the original Miami run, it was kind of like all Like,
I think they're mostly Latin American.
Yeah,
except Larsa.
That thing, yeah, there was.
I don't know what Larsa is.
That thing, yeah, there was some Cuban going on there. There was some.
I'm gonna
Dominican,
Google what ethnicity
Brazilian.
Larsa Pippen is because I don't know. Is she just a cracker? She just white? Can I say that? I said it.
Yeah, you already said
it.
she's
her mom is Lebanese, her dad is Syrian, so she's like Middle Eastern white probably.
I'll say just remember, I'm not editing this episode. So it's whatever the man behind the curtain
That's true. That's true.
So he could get you canceled.
Oh well. No one, our 8 viewers will cancel us.
They're gonna cancel
our friends
us.
and family.
I think there's gonna be a Twitter.
Maybe
thread.
one of our coworkers.
There's gonna be a Twitter thread.
Well, we're not putting that clip on TikTok. I know that. All right, we've ran through the upcoming shows, the failed, the one-season wonders, the never heard ofs.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you want to deep dive into? What do you have thoughts on?
Well, first, I do want to get into the Kardashians, but a little bit deeper because, I mean, those were just fun. I feel like the thing with the Kardashians is I always thought that their spin-off shows were more entertaining than the main show.
You know, I would love growing up and like before they got overexposed. I feel like up to 2014, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just fun, aimless watching. Like, it was be something my family would just have on.
Yeah.
And I really did enjoy, like, the Take the Hamptons season, to Take Miami. It just felt like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that thing, I know. It was so much fun. Yeah, like I said, I always enjoyed those seasons more. And then, like, the antics were fun, and then they kind of felt just lighter for the most part, except for the Scott drama. Because I remember
that was a lot.
I remember in Kourtney and Khloe Take Miami, there was that episode, was it Kim and Khloe? Or was it Kim and Kourtney Take Miami?
Was it the Hamptons? He was chaotic in the Hamptons,
well,
too.
no, because there was a Miami episode where, like, they were in Miami, and this is after she had Mason, too. Because he was, like, a little carrying him around and everything. And I remember Kim was visiting. Because I think it was Khloe and Kourtney Take Miami season 2 or something. Okay. And then Kim was there visiting. But I remember, like, Scott had been, like, drinking, and he was, like, wasted that morning and everything. And they were, like, you know, just whatever. And then next thing you know, you just hear, like, Kim's, like, you know, just with Mason, watching him and stuff, and, like, you just hear, like, some noises. You're like, what the hell? And then, like, they're getting out of it. Like, Kourtney just grabs her, like, we need to go right now. And they, like, get out of there quick. And then, like, you see Scott, like, stumbling around the place, like, wasted, and he, like, punches a mirror in the bathroom, like, cuts his hand up and everything.
I forgot about that.
And then, he's just standing there looking at it, and you just hear our producer in the background, oh, yeah, he cut it up. Oh, yeah, he's there.
Well, good thing Kourtney hightailed it out of there.
Yeah, they grabbed the baby, and they were out.
So I feel like this was before Kourtney got annoying, back when she was, like, my favorite. Because I feel like, I don't know, she was almost like the Greek chorus of the Kardashians. Like, my family's so crazy. Oh, my God, what have I got myself into?
But she was definitely the more sensible one, I think, in the early days. Like, well, they were kind of all just being crazy. I mean, I guess Khloe kind of was, too. But, I mean, even Khloe was, like, a little delusional sometimes.
Yeah, I think Khloe just wanted to be noticed and have her own lane.
She wants some attention.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were calling her the ugly fat one the whole time. Nah, you can't really blame. I don't blame Khloe for a lot of what she's doing now.
Which is the same because she was so pretty, but just not. She was just. She looked different from her sisters, but she was still pretty.
Yeah, I think she had something unique. I think she's still pretty now. Honestly.
Yeah, that thing now. You know, she definitely. I think what sucks now is I think maybe some of the more unique features are gone.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but it is what it is.
At least she has a real business. I mean, a lot of them have, like, legitimate businesses now. People at my job and, like, women I know, like, who are fashionable, they like Good American Jeans. They speak about it.
Yeah.
I like 818 Tequila. Skims just be doing lit shit. So, like, Poosh, Kylie Lip Kits, but everyone else has something going on.
Yeah. I think, like, I don't know. I don't want to say Kylie's fallen off, but... I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like she's still, like, in the media and everything, but I feel like as far as, like, her businesses, I feel like they've kind of fizzled out.
I feel like she just wants to be a mom now.
Yeah,
maybe, I don't know.
Well, I feel like that whole fake billionaire scandal. I feel like that really.
Yeah, that did not do as much.
Yeah.
You know, I thought she was gonna be the real entrepreneur because, like, I felt like the lip kits were everywhere at first, and now they're on clearance racks.
And they were like selling out. Like they'd restock them, and boom, they'd be sold out. They'd restock them.
I thought they were good, but apparently her cosmetics are just not that great. Which I was like, oh, okay. I thought otherwise from all the hype, but that's marketing for you.
Yeah, Kris Jenner works really hard.
But let's talk about Khloe. I feel like she had some fun little journeys throughout the Miami area.
She was great on the Miami show. So, like, because it was kind of like, you know, Kourtney in the first season was dealing with Scott's bullshit. And then the second season, she was, you know, a new mom and everything, had a baby. And then in the third season with Kim, She was still dealing with cost bullshit. So Kourtney was kind of always like a little strapped down and some just bullshit on that show. Mm-hmm. So I think Khloe definitely had the role of being the light and fun one on there. So she was like always partying, and she was doing her little like radio show with her little Miami radio show.
With Terrence J.
Yeah, and just having a good time. And she was kind of just like, I feel like her scenes were kind of like the comedic relief. Especially, I mean, that scene where she brought Coke into the studio. I guess it's not funny, but it's funny.
I know Michael Yo was like, get out here.
He stopped the broadcast right then and there. They went to commercial, and he was like, what do you think you're doing?
And Terrence J was just gagged in the studio.
Well, because, like, and for those of you who haven't seen, basically on Khloe and Kourtney Take Miami season 1, when they're, like, doing some stuff in their store Dash, their boutique, Khloe finds like somebody's left a little baggie of what appears to be cocaine there in the store, and then Khloe like was like, "Oh, that's funny."
I wasn't one of the Dash dolls.
I mean, it probably was, but she kept it, and then like that night on her radio broadcast, like in the studio, there's no warning to anybody. Nobody knows she even has this. She just like pulls it out. She's like, "Hey, look, I like found Coke today in the boutique. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, wow, Miami's crazy." and then like her co-host is like,
I wouldn't know what to do if you whipped out. I mean, we're not on a radio show, so you could do what you need to do. We're independent, but
yeah. I mean,
I was like, sir.
I don't think the people that provide the studio today, I don't think they'd want us to.
That's true.
I don't think they'd like that very much. But yeah, that was like a crazy moment. That was definitely like a moment that I think was probably used to market the show and get people to tune in because people were like, "She did what?"
And it happened so early. It was like episode 1 or 2.
Yeah, it was early on. Yeah, and it was definitely a moment that is like kind of the headline grabbing moment. It's like going to get people to tune in. It's going to stir up some controversy for the show. And
it worked.
Oh yeah, it did. I mean, it was a wild way to kind of establish the vibe. It's like, oh, we're getting messy on the air. Yeah. And that's the other thing is I feel like the spin-offs of the Kardashian show are a little bit more messy. Like it's a little bit less image control.
Yeah.
As the main show.
Maybe Chris has her fingers in it less. I don't know.
Yeah, like I think Chris is maybe just a little bit less concerned. She's like, we can go to what the fuck that went over there.
Well, hopefully we're gonna get North and Penelope Take Miami in like 15 years.
Oh gosh. Could you imagine?
Actually, I'm here for Dream in Chicago take something. Dream in Chicago take Chicago.
Oh. Okay, I would watch that.
Right? I mean, I wonder how their kids are going to end up. Who's going to be like a star? If they're all just going to be regular people.
I think we know how they're going to end up.
Well, I mean, oh my lord. But I don't know. I feel like what Nepo babies today, like our parents may have remembered their parents in their prime. They're like, oh shit, their daughter is working.
Yeah, I think
I think it's just kind of
one day one day our kids are gonna be like, who's that? And like, her mom is Kim Kardashian.
I'd be gagged. I mean, we know their kids' names, but I don't know. Like maybe Blue Ivy will be the biggest pop star in the world in 20 years. Not maybe, she will be if she wants to.
That's the thing, is I think Blue Ivy is going to be... I don't know what exactly Blue Ivy is going to do. I don't know if it's going to be music or what she's going to do, but she's going to be a star.
She can do whatever the hell she wants.
She's going to do something. She's going to be a star. I already know it.
But let's jump over to the Bad Girls Club.
The Bad Girls Club.
I know that you are the most versed with Bad Girls Club. I know I forced you to watch some of season 7, I think, New Orleans. So you know Judy and them.
Maybe so.
Maybe. Oh, wow, I forgot one more Miami show to mention, but Miami Monkey, which we posted a TikTok on this week. The Mob Wives spinoff for Big Ange and her restaurant in Miami. I know this is a random tangent throwing in, but one of the girls on that show was on season 5 of Bad Girls Club.
Oh,
Miami.
really?
So she did 2 Miami shows.
Connection.
Morgan Osmond, yes. Also, Morgan Osmond's a famous like sugar baby on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Her whole face looked different than when she was on reality TV all those years ago. But it's crazy how she's still. It's crazy how she's still in the media, but that's how I got to that tangent. But Miami Monkey was kind of boring. Even with Big Ange and Morgan, the rest of the cast wasn't that interesting. And, like, there was no payoff to any of the confrontation. Like, the whole show kind of, like, had this feud between Morgan and this one girl, Christina. And they have, like, this big sit-down at the end that's hyped up. And, like, they barely even argue. Like, they argue, but, like, no one throws a drink. No one slams a table. It's just all very anticlimactic. Yeah, it doesn't escalate. Which it doesn't need to. Like, in real life, that's how you're going to get down. But you're on reality TV. And what made me angry is that this girl, Christina, she threatened to throw a drink, like, 3 times. At that point, you just have to throw the drink.
Throw
like,
it or
you have to throw the drink.
Figure
Like,
it out.
like Bonnie, you've been pregnant for 6 years. Have the baby or don't. Like, throw the drink or don't throw the drink. But she said like 3 times, like, you want me to throw a drink in your face? You want me to throw a drink in your face? Oh, you're daring me? I do dares. You want the drink in your face? I'm like, girl, just throw the drink.
At that point, I would grab it and throw it in my own face.
Well, I feel like if you're really gonna throw a drink, you just have that snap decision of anger. You throw the drink.
Thing, yeah, I feel like you
at least with me, like if I'm gonna throw a drink, I'm not gonna play. I'm just gonna get. You're gonna say something. I'm just like, and I'm gonna realize after I threw a drink.
Well, I think you don't even think about it. Like they're gonna be like, well, your house is in foreclosure.
Exactly.
No, the fuck it's not.
Okay, Teresa Judy said.
No, it's not. It's not. That's none of her business.
It was clearly in foreclosure.
It was.
But Bad Girls Club, if you're not familiar with the show, which I don't know how you're not, but somebody takes 7 girls with personality issues, puts them in a house. So real world with 7 girls who can fight. No, they all can't fight, but it's real world with 7 women essentially, and they change cities.
Usually they all think they can fight.
They all think they can fight. I think there's a few who don't think they can fight and just run their mouth.
Why would they go on there?
I don't know.
Like
Fame.
I think like
they think they can fight.
Because I mean I'm not like a. I'm not like, I mean, I think I can defend myself, but I'm not like a fighter.
Yeah.
So, like, I wouldn't go on, like, Bad Boys Club.
Yeah. Oh, my God. You would get jumped. I'd get jumped. But I think some of them think that they can... Because there are some seasons where there's, like, that one neutral girl who's just, like, always breaking up the fights, or the one everyone's cool with, or they're just making jokes in the background. And maybe they think they can be that. Because there are some girls who get to the end, like, no physical altercations at all. Yeah. But it's hard, and you maybe get...
Well, because I feel
considered boring? I don't know.
Well, and I feel like sometimes on that show, because from what I've seen, sometimes they do just bully people. Like,
I mean, yeah.
So I feel like sometimes even if you're not, even if you're trying to avoid that, someone might be like just like trying to push you.
Yeah, and you do something, get fucked up. Yeah. I know. It's hard, but yeah, season 11 is known as one of the worst seasons of Bad Girls Club by the fandom, very collectively. And then that's the second Miami season. Season 5, the first one, I think has great casting, but a bad story and bad replacements. Like, so for Bad Girls Club, if you leave or get kicked out the house, they typically replace you if there's not a lot of people, if there's enough time left. And then a lot of the replacements on that season were just boring. So we had a lot of big characters go out early. I would say the 3 main characters were Brandy, who you may know as, at least I'm not a heroin addict, huh? And then we have Leah, who's just like, I think she's a full-on, I don't know, I think she went from full-on lesbian to like completely femme now. But she was like kind of just like this rocker girl, more alternative. She was cool. And then we had Kristen, who was like this, she was like a pretty blonde, but like she had some hands. Like she could like, because some girl tried her on day 1 thinking she was weak, and she just cursed her out and clocked her. So, and Kristen just has a lot of personality and energy. And they all were gone by episode 6 or 7. Because a few different things happened. Well, maybe Leah lasted towards the end, I think. But Kristen and Brandy definitely went home. And then the replacements they had were just kind of like not interesting. Didn't really do much. There was one with Christina who was kind of like fun. She threw bleach because they were bullying her. So she was like, real bad girls throw bleach. So she threw some bleach.
What a saying. Can we get that on a t-shirt?
No, because she's racist. She got exposed saying the N-word after the season. So it's fuck her. But like the fact that the show like ended on a scene of her getting jumped. And that's it. Like, she got jumped in the limo and cut the black reunion. Like, usually they do, like, a move-out scene. The girls hug and something. But, like, the end of the season was so boring and nothing was going on that they ended the season with this girl getting jumped in the limo. I mean... Like, no move-out scene, nothing. They just, like... Maybe they just stopped production right there. Like, okay, this girl got jumped. Because they couldn't put her back in the house.
They're done.
So, yeah. I think they actually... They flew in Morgan and Kristen, the 2 girls who got kicked out. Okay. Oh, yeah, also, I didn't even get into Morgan. They kicked her out on her second day in the house. So she was only on Bad Girls Club for like 2 episodes. Because apparently she was... And then when they kicked her out, she went to the production room and started pulling out film and tapes, knocking things over. Like, so that's why she ultimately got sent home. But apparently, like, from what people on the show say, like... Because Bad Girls Club producers are fucked. So they told her, like, they were over Morgan. I guess she was being difficult to work with. They were like, move her out, jump her, do what you need to do. I think one of the girls told her while jumping her. So that's why she went and fucked the production. But yeah, after that, like, she really had to go. She was like, there's footage of her pulling film out. I'm just like, girl. But that's one way to say fuck it to the producers.
I mean, we appreciate that. We appreciate Chima throwing that drink on Kourtney, allegedly. Oh my God. Allegedly.
You think she did all that in the DR?
I think she did. Bitch.
But yeah, then they had to bring, just because nothing was going on, they had to bring Morgan and Kristen back to like destroy the house, spray paint the walls, all this stuff. Which I wonder if they got their deposit back.
No.
So yeah, that's what season 5. Season 11, awful. I think 4 girls got jumped on that season.
Yeah, a lot of jumping.
Yeah, the main crew of the house were like these 4 girls that stayed throughout the whole time. And they pretty much would like push girls out, bully the replacement, push girls out, bully the replacement, jump somebody. It was just not good.
If I were production, I would have brought in some new girls and given them like tasers or something.
Oh my lord! Well, one of the girls' moms did say, get a hairspray, get a lighter, and spray the hairspray through the lighter, light them bitches up.
She said flamethrower those hoes like this is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, so shout out to Haley's mom on Bad Girls Club. Very, very eventful.
Hi, Haley's mom. If you're watching this, come see us.
Wouldn't recommend season 11 of Bad Girls Club. Would recommend the first half of season 5.
Okay.
So yeah.
So no season 11, first half of season 5.
Yeah.
So like what, halfway through season 5 you just start watching the reunion or what?
Yeah, maybe just get to the reunion, or maybe it's like, go on your phone during it.
Mm-hmm.
But after the Bleach fight, it's pretty redundant, even up to then. Because also another girl who's iconic, Katya, who famously dated Drake before she was on Bad Girls Club.
Was she the one that ate his ass?
No, but she said he eats pussy really well.
Okay.
In one of her interviews.
He gives and receives.
But she got sent home on the Jamaica trip for allegedly stabbing a stripper. So a lot has gone on that Miami season. But yeah, no, that's another person. So they lost Brandy, Kristen, and freaking Katya and Morgan. So they lost like the 4 most entertaining girls, or 4 of the 5 most entertaining girls.
So what's
halfway through the show?
I'm still processing stabbed a Jamaican stripper. Why?
Because she's Katya. Because she's Kat.
Why? But why are you gonna stab a Jamaican stripper? What'd that girl do?
Apparently, it was a male stripper, but apparently he was like being aggressive with one of the women or something. Or I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the full story. This is very alleged, by the way. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed by people on the show.
Can anybody sue us
Maybe
for this?
Kristen. I don't know. But I think Kristen maybe talked about it. I would have to do like double, triple check my research. But that is what's commonly accepted in the fandom. So
is that she allegedly stabbed a male Jamaican stripper?
Yes.
Okay.
On the island, and they have to hightail it up out of there. Like apparently, like the production was like, okay, this trip is done. This trip is done. They were just like, no.
I mean, yeah, I'd be like, oh, we need to go before they start snatching passports.
So yeah, Bad Girls Club in Miami, okay runs. Not necessarily. I feel like they should not have went back to Miami.
Is Miami just cursed for them?
I don't know. Maybe Baddies. We can do Baddies Miami. I mean, they're doing Baddies East. Maybe Miami's will be one of the cities. But
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They're pumping out Baddies.
I know.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they get.
And Kat was on the last season of Baddies. She was on Baddies West. So
really? Okay, she's still out and about. I know. Still stabbing.
I don't know about that particularly, but I love Kat. She's always so stylish and cute.
Aww.
I know she had a little bit of drama on the show, but she was mostly one of the, because she's like older, because she was like young on Bad Girls Club. Now she's like a little more older than
a little more mature.
Yeah, so she was like kind of like a godmother figure.
She's kind of,
but she's like better than some of them 20-year-olds. Yeah. I'm like, Kat is a baddie.
I think she's basically still gorgeous, but has a little bit more wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
But probably can still snatch a bitch up.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like Trina, like she doesn't necessarily want to go fight people, but she will. She has
to. Also, Kat had this very one funny line on Bad Girls Club. She's like, I probably am a gold digging hoe. What else? Like she fully owned it. She's like, I am a gold digger.
I probably am a gold digging hoe. What else? Exactly. What else? What's wrong with that?
But that's all I have on Bad Girls Club. Any lasting thoughts on what you learned about the 2 Miami seasons?
Well, I had no idea about the stabation.
I love how
that really shook me a bit. Like when you because I mean you just like mentioned that you kept going about like other stuff. I was like,
the stabbing. I know it sounds. When I was recapping all of that from season 5, I'm like, this show sounds crazy. It is crazy, but
yeah, I mean that is crazy. I mean that doesn't happen on Kourtney and Khloe.
Yeah. Also, just I guess one more crazy story. The girl Kristen, when she got kicked out, she was best friends with the girl Leah, like the rocker chick. And apparently she got roofied at the bar one day, allegedly, because they couldn't even air that because of what happened. But she still fervently claims the story, and like that's why she got so drunk. She socked Leah in the head. And then I thought she got sent home when they started fighting and stuff, but yeah, she got a good little punch too. So she was like, it was like they were this close to each other. She just popped her in the temple.
Oh my god!
So yeah,
well,
roofies, stabbing, and jumpings and bleach throwing.
Well, yeah.
Bad Girls Club season 5.
Wow, they really went all out for their 5th season.
It wasn't even one of their better ones.
That's crazy. The fact that all that can happen and you're just like, it's not that great of a season.
I mean, I think season 5 was really good up until the replacement. The replacements were poorly casted.
Yeah.
Are just maybe everyone else is over this experience.
Where do the replacements even come from? Are these just girls that didn't make the cut for the main cast originally?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of that, or they're like, oh, this girl would be good as a replacement.
Like they see him at a bar or something?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think a lot of them probably come beginning. Like, they're all from the casting pool.
Yeah.
But I know one girl has stated that, like, Oh, I was on vacation when they originally started, so I just came out the replacement later. I know sometimes girls turn down replacement spots, and sometimes they end up as a main character in another season, like an original. Which some people have said, I don't know if it's gotten confirmed, but a few girls have said that they decline replacement spots. I think it's just how production sees you or how you fit within the cast.
Yeah.
If they like wanted you, but there was another girl they wanted more, but you both kind of fill the similar archetype.
Well, yeah, and it's just like things where it's like, we really like this one, but she might not do well on this cast.
Yeah. Also, I feel like there's just like certain personalities that make good for a replacement. Like I feel like if you have somebody who's like loud and just combative, and the house is too, but that everyone's like on the same page, and so throw them in, start some drama. Or if it's too contentious, you might need like the funny lit girl in there who's just gonna like exactly. I think it depends on the vibe of the house, what the producers want as well. But they mostly are just girls from the casting pool.
Yeah.
I think we could finish up the episode by talking about Real Housewives of Miami.
Yeah, so this is one that I've kind of had to start watching. So basically, Aidan has never seen the original run of the show. He's seen the reboot. And then I had never seen either. So in preparation for this episode, I was watching the original run of the show, but I haven't seen the reboot. So we have an interesting little dynamic here.
I know, but I'm familiar with some things. Like, I overheard you watching a video this morning, so we saw that. But I knew that Joanna Krupa got hit in the face after getting sued.
Well, yeah, no, I knew about.
I mean, Joanna. I'm sorry.
Well, you did that on purpose.
No, I did it. I'm Spanish. I'm bilingual. It's my accent.
Okay,
soy dominicano. Okay.
Okay. But so basically, I already knew about that because I just remember that being a big controversy, and it was like, oh, craziest Real Housewives moment. It's like Joanna gets punched in the face. I mean, and it was crazy watching it, especially just like because like just watching Joanna follow her down the hallway. Well, especially now watching it, knowing what was going to happen, like watching Joanna follow her down the hallway, it's like, no, stop, she's going to hit you. And she turns around, because she literally just turns around and just pops her, like, good. It was like a good hit. I was like, damn, Adriana.
Yeah, the fight of Brazil.
I love Adriana.
She'll say whatever she needs to say, even on the current season.
What I love her, because like in the very, like, it was either the first or the second episode, she was going out to a fashion show with Larsa and this girl named Christy that was like a one-season wonder. She's only on the first season. And they're going out to dinner, and they're kind of just being rude to her. Like, they're kind of like just like not feeling her and being kind of rude to her and everything. And they're kind of just side-eyeing everything she's doing. Like, she's just having fun.
Oh, it sounds like the current season.
She's like dancing with these guys and everything, and they're kind of like judging her because she has a fiance. But she's like, he understands. Like, it's okay as long as I don't do anything. And then like at this fashion show, after the fashion show, like. She goes and like walks the runway like after it's over. Like there's just like random people standing around like cleaning up, and she just goes and like struts the runway and does a little runway walk, and they're sitting there on the side just like
Ramona Turtle Time.
Yeah, like Larsa and Chrissy are sitting there on the side just like, oh, she's ridiculous, like judging the fuck out of her.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what goes on now. Except it's Alexia Marisol mainly side eyeing her.
Oh really?
And sometimes some of the new girls, but I mean sometimes Adriana will just say or do something that's a little too much.
Yeah.
Like she compared, like I don't know if you know now, but Alexia's younger son got into an accident. He has issues.
That happened on the
it happened on the first season?
Not the first season, but like the second or third, I think. It happened on the original run though.
Okay, yeah. I know it was on TV, but she compared that to some minuscule shit that she went through. And they were like, I was like, girl, come on. But she still has some funny remarks. Like, she talks about Larsa's BBL all the time. She's like, you can see it from the planet Moon.
Yeah.
I mean, Larsa's BBL is ridiculous, but then she went and got a BBL too one of the seasons. It's like, girl, Adriana. So she never fails to make me cackle. I think she's one of the people who I think are just naturally entertaining in everything that they do.
Yeah, well, she's got a very big personality, and she's just very...
What's her sign?
She's like very... What's the word? She's like just very kind of just openly out there. Like she's a little bit just crazy, and she's fine with it.
I should have known she was a Sag.
She's a Sag.
She's a November one though.
Oh, you don't like the November Sag?
I don't dislike them, but I'm always like I don't fully claim them. But I should have known she was a Sag. I'm also a Sag. I'm a December Sag.
You don't trust November Sag?
It's not that I don't trust them. It's that Mia Thornton is one.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. Nothing else to be said about that. Mia Thornton, liar.
What do you think about Alexia?
Well, she's all right. I don't know. I'm very like mixed on her because like there are moments where I'm kind of like, okay, I like her. There are moments where I'm kind of like, oh girl, like what? Like this is stupid. But also, I do appreciate. I feel like she's very authentic in my opinion.
Yeah, no, she shares
on the show because I mean, like she, like she was like very openly showing like kind of like the struggles, like even the first season, like in her very first few episodes, she was like showing the struggles she was having with her kids and kind of like, yeah, like I kind of struggle with certain aspects of parenting and stuff like that. And that's like unheard of on some franchises. In some franchises, like these women will pretend they are like their kids have mugshots and they'll pretend they're the perfect.
Sure.
Yeah, like that thing. They'll pretend they're the perfect parent. Their child is the perfect child. Nobody's perfect, but they'll pretend. So I like how authentic she is. I like how open she is. So that I appreciate, and I can see why she's still on, even in the reboot to this day.
Yeah, no, she shares a lot. Like, so much crazy, chaotic shit happens to her all the time.
Yeah.
I think she's a little vapid, but
yeah, well,
what housewife is it?
And the first season,
well, I mean, a lot of them are.
And her, like, introduction, like, that's what she's talking about. She's talking about, like, basically how beautiful she is.
Yeah, I think she's definitely, like, her parents be like, you're pretty, you don't need to be great at school, and they kind of really didn't foster much else. Like, you know how really pretty people go through life not needing a personality or, like, any semblance of independence?
Yeah,
I think she's that.
She is very pretty.
She's gorgeous. I cackle when people compare her to Teresa because I see she's literally like a Cuban Teresa and like her ideology, how she goes about life, how quote unquote traditional she is.
Yeah.
So yeah, also when I think was it Julia called her a barracuda? So I think she looks like a barracuda. I just can't unsee it. And you know how these editors get on Peacock, so they put up these edits of a barracuda next to this poor woman.
Well, it's like hamster face Candace.
Oh my
Lord. A picture of a hamster.
You can't move with that barracuda face.
Or the drawing of Juan's woman.
Oh my god! It can't look like Karen. Those editors are too much. The Backrooms Club editors did shit like that all the time too. They got into their bag.
I love an editor that's like perfectly happy to add like a little boing noise at an inappropriate moment.
Like, there was one time on Backrooms Club, they were talking about this one girl, Christina. And you look big and fat and ugly. and they like they just expanded her to confessional with this little noise. Like, whoop. That's like, you don't need to do that. She was kind of like a thicker girl, but like she had this tendency to drink protein shakes, which, you know, make you gain weight. Yeah. But she wasn't really working out. So
yeah.
Of course one of them brought that up. So they have to be shady in the confessional about it. Another time they called her that she looks like Shrek or something, so they made her green. It was a lot. Or Fiona. I don't know what they called her.
They better.
She had the red hair like Fiona too.
I hope they at least gave her Fiona. Because Shrek is a little too far.
I mean, knowing Jamie and Jazz in their mouth, they probably called that girl Shrek. They probably called that girl Shrek.
I mean, like, Fiona's cute.
Fiona had her moments.
She's cute. She's like a little thick cutie baddie.
I feel like human Shrek was ugly though. Shrek looked better as an ogre.
Yeah. No, as like human Shrek just kind of looks like a weird guy on Grindr. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gonna ask me to do some weird shit.
Come to his swamp. We're not going there.
I was like, he's gonna want to like
you can host today, bitch.
Yeah, he's gonna like want to take a shit on your chest or something.
And you know what? On that note, I think it's time.
On a real note,
I think it's time we wrap this up.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode. This episode is very special to us and a very long time in the making because we've kind of like going back and forth on whether or not we want to do a visual aspect to the podcast. And it's always been kind of a discussion, but to be able to do it, at least for the first time in person, was really special. Yeah. And we're really excited. The energy was fun.
Enjoyed doing this with you as always.
Yeah.
I had a good time. Hope you guys enjoyed our deep dive on Miami as a locale for reality shows. Mm-hmm. Our thoughts on a lot of the shows that have occurred and filmed here. Mm-hmm. And it was a good time with you all. Make sure to, if you want more video podcast, this is your medium. If you like this shit, let us know in the comments. Yeah. Drop it, social media, wherever. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at On a Real Note Pod. We're on all the socials.
Mm-hmm. And if you are just listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, and you want to see the visual, this will be on YouTube.
Yeah. And of course, we'll post some clips on TikTok or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you're a little bit more of a short, medium type of person, go right to our TikTok.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.